80 million people can claim Irish descent.
Castles and the settlement and why the city was organized the way that it was. We do probably one of the most fun warm-ups that I've ever done in my life. While there's less than 1 million people living in Ireland, there's tens of millions of people in the world who associate themselves as Irish. Well, I'm one of those people. There is a first cousin of my father who still lives on the plot of land where my grandfather was born and my great-grandfather tended the land. So I've always wanted to go back there, I've always wanted to meet these people, and it was a major component of the trip.
I don't know why, I'm just like giddy. Wait, I'm giddy, I feel energized, I feel like I'm really excited.
So think about your extended family, and then think about if you had never met them, then think about if they lived in a foreign land and they had a crazy accent and you really didn't know that much about them. This is kind of the situation that I walked into.
Uncle Owen, how are you, sir? Nice to meet you.
Owen came in, he is the uncle of Claire, and he was a friend of my grandfather. Literally grew up with my granddad. Now, the craziest and hardest thing about Owen was understanding what was coming out of his mouth.
I'm driving, yeah.
Hope you don't say the wrong side of the road.
What's that?
You don't say the wrong side of the road here.
What's your favorite music?
I'm not well up in music.
Okay.
I was watching your man last night, Nathan Chapter. You didn't see him? I don't think he's as good a singer.
Who is it? Nathan what?
Turn right.
Okay.
I even had that internal dialogue while someone's speaking to you. We're like, understand him, understand him. Shut up, stop talking so I can understand him.
What kind of farm was it?
That's all growing potatoes and corn and cattle and pigs.
You know, I don't know if it's just an Irish-American thing. I don't know if it's just certain people. I've got this desperate desire to kind of know my ancestors and where they came from and little things about them.
The first part is a date, something 30, 1743, dude. So that's a McKernan from 1743 buried right here. How you doing, Mary? That's pretty cool. That's going back a long way. That's going back a long way. I'm only just starting the journey, really, but I'm psyched now. It's really exciting for me to see that, right? Silly as it sounds, I feel kind of plugged into this place. I feel, you know, ultimately it's where part of my family came from, so it's cool. It feels really cool to be here.
So Monday was one of the, if not the most cool interactions that we had on the entire trip. A young man named Mcgreevy reached out on social media and started to kind of tell me his story, and it was that of a cancer survivor.
So this is CrossFit Bad Bear. We are at Mcgreevy's house in the middle of the country. We're 3 miles from any nearest village, and I count over 10 cars of people that are inside and must be charging. So
he literally has a converted horse shed, like a barn, and as he rolls back the door, the music comes blaring out, the weight reverberations of dropping weights come on out, and there's 10 people in a class.
Originally it was like, there were stables here, so each one of these racks was like a stable, and there was a horse in it, so that was why I wanted to put them there as well.
His story stood out in how dramatic it was. He was self-diagnosing himself with cancer effectively for 6 months to a year prior to any physicians taking him seriously. And by the time they finally did, he had stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
He said you're a dead man walking is what he said.
Basically.
He said you essentially less than a week, right?
Yeah.
And he said, I expect you to be dead in a week.
Yeah, pretty much. The note in my heart would stop it within about a week, because it got to the size that it was putting my heart under so much pressure. At some stage my heart was going to pack in. Simple as that. And,
so you're mad, you're angry, or what was the vibe?
I was relieved that I was going to get treated.
Wow.
You know?
And then in that one weekend,
yeah.
Talk about your weight.
And from getting the chemo till going back in on the Tuesday to see the doctor, I gained like 21 pounds.
In 4 days.
In 4 days, yeah. I was so hungry. It must have been just that I felt better.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I felt the whole way through it, was I wanted to live.
Yep.
Not for any other thing, but that I wanted to live. I want to see the next 50, 60, 70 years. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I wanted to see them.
But the way that he internalized that and the way that he dealt with it was tremendous. And his story like literally kind of cracked to my core. It was quintessential CrossFit in the fact that he took that and decided that he wanted to then turn it around, pay it forward, and make other people better.
I can remember sitting thinking, I want to train people, but I don't want to open a gym. I don't want to be another 12-week program, like selling supplements in a corner and people just being ignored. I want to be part of people's lives. And the only way I could think of doing it was CrossFit. It's the only way that works in my eyes. It's the only way that you can actually make a change in someone's health that feeds into their real life. That doesn't just mean they can lift something, you know, or they look a certain way. It means that someone that has arthritis and goes and trains and starts changing their diet and changes their whole lifestyle, all of a sudden their arthritis pains aren't as bad and their whole life changes. And you get to be part of that and you get to see how you can help people. To me, it's change, you know, and that's what CrossFit is. It gives the opportunity to change. It gives anybody the opportunity to do what they thought they never could.